Bad Blood, Atlanta, Georgia, tomorrow night on pay-per-view or PLE, whatever you want to call it. 5 matches. This is what Triple H usually does when it comes to premium live events. Let's get accustomed to it. We've got 5 matches, and this entire pay-per-view, for the most part, is gonna try or attempt to bookend some major feuds, some major rivalries. Namely, 2 rivalries. 2 rivalries that represent bad blood indeed. And let's get started with the match that should be the main event of this show, but probably will not be main eventing the show. Because we've got the Bloodline, we've got Roman Reigns, and we've got the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes in a high-profile, high-stakes tag team match. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell. This match, for all intents and purposes, should end the pay-per-view just based off of their, 8-9 months rivalry. Just based off the fact that it is taking place inside the Devil's Playground, Hell in a Cell. Both of these men hate each other to the point that they're willing to decimate each other, to cost each other WWE title opportunities, Royal Rumble matches, WrestleMania moments, all the back and forth between the Scottish psychopath and the voice of the voiceless. It all ends tomorrow night at Bad Blood. And it should end at Bad Blood. I don't think this feud, this rivalry, should keep going after this. Do they have enough legs to keep going? Absolutely. These two have been putting on some of the best work in their careers, namely Drew McIntyre. But they've got to move on. They've got to move on. Drew McIntyre's got to get back into that world title championship contendership. And Punk himself has got to move on and start facing off against new, fresher opponents. It's time to put this feud, this rivalry behind us, and there is no better place to do that than in Hell in a Cell. And that's exactly what Hell in a Cell is for. Hell in a Cell is the ultimate stipulation to end feuds, to end rivalries. Now, as far as who should win this Hell in a Cell match, Punk has a record of 2 wins and 3 losses. McIntyre has a record of 2 losses inside Hell in a Cell. Drew McIntyre has not won. And I think, and this is just me, I think the only way forward is to give Drew McIntyre the win. To have Drew McIntyre defeat CM Punk inside Hell in a Cell. And I get it. The heel winning this feud, this rivalry, seems unorthodox, seems unnatural. But if Punk wins, which again, there's a high likelihood that he might, because he is a babyface and WWE favors babyfaces a lot, they've always have. But if Punk wins, there's still a chance that McIntyre might keep this feud going. There's still a chance that McIntyre might not be content with the ultimate result. So I'm going to give it to Drew McIntyre for now, and then Drew can move on to challenging Gunther for the World's Heavyweight Championship. And we can keep Punk away from the world title until at least WrestleMania. I think that's the way forward. A lot of people might not agree with me. The second feud, excuse me, that should bookend, that should end at Bad Blood, is that, excuse me, that love triangle between current Women's World Champion Liv Morgan, former Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio himself. A man who will be hung up high above the ring inside a shark cage to prevent any type of interference from him in said match. Rhea Ripley, a few months ago, had to vacate the Women's World Championship. Becky Lynch ended up winning the title. Liv Morgan ended up defeating Becky Lynch with some help by Dirty Dominic Mysterio to become Women's World Champion. Then Liv Morgan started slowly manipulating the Judgment Day. And at SummerSlam, it ended with Liv Morgan hooking up with Dominic Mysterio, taking the Judgment Day away from Rhea Ripley. And this has led us all to this final matchup for the Women's World Championship. And this is a rivalry, this is a match that is going to end this feud, or should end this feud, might not, because when you look at the women's roster on Monday Night Raw, there is no top heel poised to face off against Rhea Ripley if she were to become world champion, and there is no top babyface positioned to take Rhea Ripley's role if Liv Morgan were to once again retain her title. Again, bad planning on Triple H's part. They haven't been doing a good job of building up contenders for the actual championships. And the only thing that could probably save this is yet another Becky Lynch return, which again, personally, I don't want. It's time to build someone else new, especially in these late months before WrestleMania where you can actually take a risk. If it were up to me, I'd have Liv Morgan retain her title. Keep feeding the Judgment Day. Keep giving them the heat that they want. And then you build up a babyface to take that title off of Liv Morgan instead of putting it back on Rhea Ripley, which would be the safe option, which I think is what they're going to do. I think Rhea Ripley is going to once again become Women's World Champion. That's not going to end this feud. That's not going to end this rivalry because Liv Morgan's going to have her rematch, and it's going to give WWE more time to build up contenders in the women's division, which is the only upside. So I'm giving the win to Rhea Ripley, even though I think it should go to Liv Morgan. We've got another chapter in the Judgment Day story. I think this feud, this rivalry is just starting. Excuse me. Former World Champion Damian Priest against Finn Balor. They have history dating all the way back to last year when Finn Balor was a contender for the World Championship. Damian Priest was senior Money in the Bank. A lot has happened since then, and they finally clash at Bad Blood. This feud, this rivalry, this match is the first of many. You gotta keep them occupied. Again, Gunther is gonna retain his title next week against Sami Zayn. You don't need another heel contender in Finn Balor challenging Gunther when you're going to have Drew McIntyre challenge for the world title. So again, this feud, this rivalry benefits both of them. Let's keep it going. It keeps Damian Priest preoccupied for the moment. It's a win-win. And whoever rocks out with the win, I think it's going to be Finn Balor. It's got to be Finn Balor. That way, this rivalry can keep on going. Damian Priest can keep searching. And again, it's got to be underhandedly. It's got to be with the rest of the Judgment Day, namely JD McDonough and Carlito helping him out. We've got Nia Jax versus Bayley, yet another feud, another rivalry that should end tomorrow night at Bad Blood in Atlanta. Nia Jax is a women's champion. Bayley is a former women's champion. A little bit of a disappointing title reign on her part. Again, this is just my opinion, subjective. You might agree or disagree with me, but I think this match at Bad Blood might lead to a lot of other stuff down the line. I think there's a possibility of major overbooking for this feud, for this match in particular. You could have Naomi come out. Well, actually, you could have Tiffany Stratton come out, be by Nia Jax's side, keep costing her to interfering, causing distractions. The referee's preoccupied. Out comes Naomi to even the stakes. Become the equalizer. Keep Tiffany Stratton at bay. Bing bada boom. Naomi costs Bayley the match. And we lead into that feud, into that rivalry. On the SmackDown side of things, that keeps Bayley out of the title picture. And Tiffany Stratton, she might cash in. She might become women's champion. Which wouldn't be a bad thing, especially if they decide to go, the Kurt Angle route, just like they did with Io Sky last year. Give Tiffany Stratton the championship, have her cash in. She becomes a babyface because she cashed in on Nia Jax, who's going to turn on her, who's this big bad monster who is now trying to chase down a very fab favorite, Tiffany Stratton, even though she's a heel. I think you got all the ingredients to actually help out the SmackDown Women's Division. Tiffany Stratton, babyface women's champion, Nia Jax, her heel challenger. You got Bayley and Naomi preoccupied on the side, building up Naomi on that side of things, so that we eventually get Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi, babyface versus heel. That's how you build up a women's division. Again, Nia Jax retains, Naomi turns on Bayley, Tiffany Stratton cashes in, and we start getting this babyface and heel dynamic switched. And finally, it's time for the match that will actually end the show, the main event of the show, the Bloodline 2.0. Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu tagging against the current undisputed WWE champion, Cody Rhodes, and the only tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns. Do I think that there's going to be involvement from Randy Orton? Do I think that there's going to be involvement from Kevin Owens? No. I don't think this match needs it. I think that should be saved for future episodes of SmackDown. But this match should have moments where Cody Rhodes is doubting Roman Reigns' allegiance and vice versa. I do think this match should have moments where Reigns is doubtful of what he must do to take Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa out, because after all, they're still blood, they're still family. And I think Cody and Roman must win this match at all costs. I don't think there's no chance in hell they're losing this bout. Do I think The Rock is going to make a return to WWE at Bad Blood? There's a small possibility. I think it might be a little bit too soon to start planting those seeds between Roman Reigns and The Rock. I think we got to do that maybe at Crown Jewel, closer to War Games. But you never know. The only thing I do know is that Reigns and Cody are going to walk out with the win. But there's going to be a lot of tension, a lot of drama between these two. And just watching them tag with each other, team with each other, that's going to be enough to keep fans on edge. So there you go. Those are my predictions for Bad Blood tomorrow night in Atlanta, Georgia. Fantastic show set up. I think the match that we can at least is Nia Jax versus Bayley. I don't think it's going to be a pretty spectacular match, but I'm just hoping that it leads to future development of talent in the SmackDown Women's Division. In the meantime, leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comments section below. What do you think is going to go down at Bad Blood this upcoming weekend? My name is Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.